Hey, how's she going, boys? Mike here, welcome back to Grampie's workshop. And look what I got here. Got a load of wood this morning. This is a tractor shelter kit. They say it can be assembled by 2 men and a Newfoundland dog in about 4 days. Well, we're going to see. I think it's going to take more than 4 days, but let's get at it. So this is where we're going to make it happen, right? This is where we're going to put the tractor shelter. I figured what I'd do is I'd make a stick-built tractor enclosure and then get the tractor under cover first, because that's top priority. And to start off with, I'm going to put the building on 4x6 sills again, like I did with the temporary shelter. So I want to lay out a perimeter here of 4x6 sills and level all that good and then start building. So in preparation for that, I had to go back to the lumber store and get some timbers for that. What I have here in the trailer is I have 3 2x6 or 3 4x6x10 and 2 4x6x12s. I'm going to use those for the perimeter, but before I use them, I want to put some preservative on them because these are just raw hemlock. So I'm going to lift them off the trailer, I hope, lift them off the trailer, set them on the sawhorses here, and I'm going to put a wood preservative on them. A lot of gravity in these. Those are the 10-footers. These are the 12-footers. So these are going to be 2 feet heavier. So now I'm going to go to work and make some wood preservative for this so I can paint those to be ready to put down for the perimeter. I bet you don't see this very often. I'm purposely wetting down my wood. What I find is when you get lumber like this, if you just store it out in the sun, it'll twist and bend quicker than you can say, holy smokes. So I like to wet it down good. Wet won't hurt it. And then cover it with the tarp, and then when I use it, it stays, it's a little bit more straighter. It'll still warp, but it's a little bit more straighter. And once you get it like assembled into a frame or something like that, then it'll dry out and maybe stay halfway straight. But I find if you wet it down, keep it damp, keep it covered, less likelihood of it warping. So because I won't be using this wood for a couple of days probably, or be a long time before I use it all, I like to keep it covered, keep it wet, and then that does go a long ways to help the wood stay straighter. Now on this other pile here on the other side of the wood, there's sheet goods in there. They don't tend to warp like sticks do, like boards, so I'm not touching those over there, just keep them covered. So I mentioned I was going to make my own wood preservative. I did some research on this. To buy wood preservatives at the store, take your wallet. So I checked out a few videos and I found some videos, a lot of them talk about mixing motor oil and diesel fuel, about 50-50 mix. I've done this before. In fact, for my lumber shed here beside me, I didn't use motor oil, I used hydraulic oil. and I painted all the sleepers, the sill, any wood that's coming in contact with the ground. I painted that with hydraulic oil, so that seemed to work pretty good. But I'm going to try the motor oil, used motor oil, and diesel fuel 50-50 mix here today on these timbers. Now, I unloaded these yesterday, and when I was doing my research, it said make sure that the timber is as dry as possible. I have no idea knowing when these logs were cut. I think they were cut a year ago, but I'm not really sure. The guy at the mill didn't really know. But they were sitting out in his yard in the sun, so I'm thinking they're pretty dry. It was hot, stinking hot and sunny here yesterday, so when I laid them out I figured I'll just set them here for a day, let them dry, and now it's the next day, so we're going to put some wood preservative on them. Then when I cut them, I'll paint the cut-off ends once more, because usually, you know, even on a pressure treated wood, if you cut it, you should treat that piece that you cut. So I'm going to try and mix up a little bit here in this coffee jug, 50-50. This is just used motor oil. There's always lots of this around, right? If you do your own oil changes. And I'm mixing it, I'm saying 50-50. I'm not measuring anything, as you can see, right? And this is just diesel fuel. Let's see how we make out here. And my oil was pretty dirty. This really seems to be dark to me, but that's okay because these are going to be the sills that the building is going to sit on. I don't care if they're dark or not, right? So we're just going to put a coat on these, let it dry, and then we'll see where we go from there. I'm about an hour into this job already, eh? I don't know what the ideal coverage rate is for this, but I've gone through about 2 of these coffee cans and a brush. My brush is just about done. Anyhow, there it is. We got all these pieces painted. I'm going to let those dry now, probably till, this is only middle of the morning. I'm going to let these dry till probably mid-afternoon. Can you see me? I got the camouflage coveys on, right? So you probably can't see me. Sorry. You know, I looked a long time before I found these camouflage coveralls. I put the diesel and the oil on these timbers here this morning, and it's about 3-4 hours later now, and it's mostly dry, but not fully dry. So I put these old coveys on, just so I wouldn't get my clothes all dirty. What I'm going to do is, I've got these timbers that I'm going to put around the perimeter. I need a 10-foot one to go across the back of the building. So this one is 10 feet long. So I want to cut a half lap joint in them because I'm going to be joining them together with half laps. They're 6 inches wide, so I'm going to put a mark on there. And it's 4 inches thick, so if I come down 2 inches, I'm going to go get my chainsaw and cut that, I think, with the chainsaw. We're going to set up, make a mark on the other end the same way, cut that end off. All right, so there, that's those two cut. This is going to be the back one, so I have to cut half laps in these next two 10-footers to intersect with these. So I think what I'll do is I'll set up and cut all the half laps before I go get the oil and diesel mixture to put on this, just so that I'm not trapping back and forth with the oil. Put it all on at once, let it dry. So I've got all the half laps cut now, but I need to cut these 12-foot pieces off at 10 feet and put another half lap in here. So it's the next day. I let these dry overnight good, and then it rained overnight too, so that helped a lot, washed away a lot of the excess. So I think we're good to go with these now. I want to drill some holes now while I have the sills up off grade, so I don't have to drill into the gravel. So to do that, what I'm thinking is for each of these 10-foot sections, I'm going to put 2 rebar. My idea is this, for example, this sill right here is going to go at the very back. So that's going to be the right hand side as you're looking at it. That's going to be the left hand side, and I'm going to put a wall on it, and the wall is, I want to come flush with the outside or my side of the sill. So that means when I put my anchors in, I'd like them not to go through the wall, but to go through the actual sill itself. So I'm going to use this 2x4 to give me an idea of where I can locate them, and then I'd like to put, I don't know, 2.5 feet in from each end and pop a hole through here. 2.5 feet. 2 foot 6 inches is about there, and then 2.5 feet, 2 foot 6 inches, and I'll just mark a bunch of these. And it's not necessary that these be exact, but just, you know, somewhere's handy. We're not building a coffin after all. Now what will happen is, once I secure this sill in place, this sill is going to go down the right hand side as you're looking at, or the left hand side as you're looking at it. So I have to flip it around and make sure my lap joints go together well, and then the sill is going to be on the outside, or the wall is going to be on the outside of it. So that means my hole is going to have to be there and about there. I've got a 1/2 inch drill bit in here. So I'm going to finish drilling these holes, and then we'll come back. I got one other thing I want to do with them before I start to place them on the grade. Alright, so I got all my holes drilled. And the other step I wanted to do is, I want to make sure that these are protected as well, right? Alright, just going to let that dry a little bit, and then we're ready to start placing the sills on grade. Well, you know what, I thought I was going to get those sills all cut and put the diesel and oil on them to preserve them and get them all set in place and leveled up and pegged down, and have my building built and have this pile of wood gone. But it ain't working that way, boys, oh boys. They don't work as fast as they used to. So I'm going to have to cut this video off here. In the next video though, I hope to get the sills laid out where they're supposed to go and get them all leveled up and pegged down. in preparation for starting to build this tractor shelter. So apologize for it taking so long in this video, and also it's going to be over multiple episodes, folks. I'm sorry, but that's just the way she goes. But let me know what you think about my wood preservative technique here. Do you think that's worthwhile doing? And I hope you're having a great week wherever you are. Don't forget to thumbs up me, eh? And we'll talk to you soon.